These guys didn't write a plan for the homeless. They wrote it for themselves.
From ABC 7, this is Eyewitness News.
Now at 11 a.m., a local teen from Rialto is rescued in New York after being kidnapped by somebody she met on Instagram. We are live with a warning for parents. New details released about the suspect accused in the Laguna Woods church shooting, what he sent a local newspaper prior to the attack. And taking action on the baby formula shortage, what the White House is now doing as lawmakers grill the head of the FDA about the shortage. Good morning. This is Eyewitness News at 11 a.m. live on ABC 7, Hulu Live, and wherever you stream. I'm Giovanna Lotta. Philip Palmer is off today. We are still learning new details about a terrifying story out of Rialto. That's where a 17-year-old girl is back home with her family after being kidnapped by a 24-year-old man she met on Instagram. Inland Empire Bureau reporter Leticia Juarez has more. Leticia.
Well, Giovanna, this is a strong reminder to parents who have children on any social media platform to just keep a diligent eye on who they're communicating with online. This, of course, after you mentioned that Rialto teen was kidnapped. Rialto teenager, though, is now home safe with her parents after she was kidnapped by a man that she met on Instagram. Rialto police say that the 17-year-old victim ended up traveling to New York to meet the man. Her parents then contacted police when she went missing. A detective that was assigned to the case was able to track the victim down after speaking with the victim's friend, who mentioned that the victim was talking to an older man from New York. When detectives searched phone records, they found a phone number belonging to the suspect identified as 24-year-old Elijah Clark.
I called it, a male answered the phone, and I identified myself as Detective Watson. He hung up, so then I just texted him and said, hey, this is Detective Watson, could you please call me back? I received a text from the suspect's phone that I had text, hi, this is Detective Watson, and it was a text from the victim asking, please help me, he won't let me go, I want to come back home, please get me back home. And then they said, do not reply back to this text message or I'll get in trouble.
Very scary situation for that team there. Rialto police say they worked with NYPD, who was able to raid the suspect's home there in New York. That's where they found the 17-year-old, who they say was being held against her will. She was reunited with her family on Mother's Day.
When she let us know that she was found, I mean, you know, my heart was just dropped out. You know, we both were so ecstatic, tears, joy, you know, everything.
Now, Rialto police say it's not just important to keep an eye on who your children are talking to online. They also say to know their passwords and to make sure that you're aware of anything they're talking or who they're talking to online as well. Now, as far as Clark is concerned, he has been arrested and he is facing charges of kidnapping in New York State. Reporting in Rialto, Leticia Juarez, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Leticia, thank you. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration has launched a special probe into a crash in Newport Beach. A 40-year-old Wayne Swanson Jr., 34-year-old Crystal McCallum, and 32-year-old Andrew Chavez all died in this accident. The crash involved a Tesla Model S. Now the NHTSA wants to know whether the car was operating on autopilot at the time. The agency says this is part of a larger investigation involving advanced driver assistance systems. Since 2016, Teslas have been involved in 28 of the 34 crashes the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration has reviewed. The man accused in the deadly church shooting in Orange County apparently sent a 7-volume diary to a local newspaper before the attack. The Chinese Language World Journal Bureau in Monterey Park says it received stacks of photocopied pages and a flash drive a day after the shooting. The paper didn't say what was written, and documents were turned over to the police. David Cho is charged with killing a doctor and injuring 5 others at a church in Laguna Woods on Sunday. Investigators say he was motivated by his political hatred for Taiwan. The man accused of opening fire at a Buffalo supermarket, killing 10 people, briefly appeared in court this morning. 18-year-old Peyton Gendron is being indicted by a grand jury on first-degree murder and is being held without bail. He entered the courtroom under heavy guard as family members of the victims watched. Prosecutors say he targeted black people in a racially motivated attack. At his initial court appearance last week, the suspect Gendron entered a not guilty plea. He's due back in court on June 9th. It's been another rough day on Wall Street as the Dow Jones Industrial Average is down again. Yesterday's 4% tumble was the biggest one-day retreat since June of 2020. The biggest drops have included retailers, which are blaming inflationary pressures on demand as the culprit to declines. Here's ABC's Alexis Christoforous with the latest.
Another ugly day expected on Wall Street as investors worry that high inflation may follow.